How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you my personal way of editing a photo. That's the entire process, out in the field whenever I'm getting stuff just for myself, all the way to how I organize and edit an entire photo front to back. So this morning I actually went out around 6:30 in the morning just to get some footage for today's video. So I'll show you a little bit about what that looked like, and then we're gonna jump into Lightroom and my whole editing process. First, let me show you what this morning looked like. Quite honestly, I did not expect that GoPro footage to be that choppy. In my defense, I was borrowing it from somebody. But if you want a whole lot more insight, thankfully that is not the only POV footage I do. Check out my shorts. I upload one every single day so that you guys can see the behind the scenes as to why I'm capturing things the way I am, settings, all that kind of stuff. So I dive a whole lot more into shorts. Enjoy that. Now, let's get back to the photos. So that footage you saw, I was on the bridge, I was looking down at this creek from a dam, and I just love it. Now, we're gonna jump straight into Lightroom. This is how I actually do everything front to back, how I keep everything organized. Last year, a little bit of a learning curve, but hopefully for anybody who's getting started and trying to figure out a good system to organize their photos as they're editing everything, hopefully this can give you something. So what I do is drag them into Lightroom. It's gonna start populating it all in there. And it's here that I actually organize things. What I found in Lightroom is you can actually go in and sort them out by favorites. So you can assign different rankings, and then you can filter out to see the ones that you did not put any kind of ranking or the lower rankings. You can actually populate those up and delete them just so that you only have to run through it once. Now that all the photos are in here, and I typically will open up a folder under work in progress just so that I know exactly what I'm currently working on and I don't have a lot of folders just lying around. So I'll start off here. My apologies if it might be a little slow right now. So what I'll basically do is you got this system down here where you can actually assign different values. And what I do is I keep it simple. If I like it, 5 stars. If I don't, I leave a blank. So I'll quickly go through. There's a rail, could be interesting. So I'll go ahead and save one of these. I'll mark it 5 stars. My personal favorite from this morning, again, not the most in-depth shoot, but I love scenery. I love where there's greenery, running water, woods, trees. That's just my favorite. So I'm gonna go through and mark some of these. So this first one, it's not centered, but I'm gonna go ahead and 5-star this one. I guess this one, it's really more about the water. This one's a little more centered. I definitely like that one a little better. Okay, so this is an interesting one. I think I got underneath the rail, just gave myself a different perspective. And then I saw some cows. I'll just keep it. I'll keep that one. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up to the top. You've got a search bar. On the right, there's like this funnel looking shape. You're gonna click that. Now this is gonna help us sort it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark 4 stars and I'm gonna say everything under 4 stars, bring it up on screen. So everything that I've marked 5 stars, it's not gonna be showing up here. Yeah, so now what I'm gonna do is I'll select everything that I did not put a rating on and delete it. I'm done. Delete 57 photos. So now there's not gonna be anything here until I clear the filter options. Let's give it a second. All right, so now that you see nothing on here, all we have to do is go back up to this top search bar and clear these filters. So we're left with 13 photos. Okay, we're not gonna edit all 13 of them because I wanna keep it very brief for you. We'll do one for sure, we'll probably do 2, but I'm gonna do one that I really wanted to go out and get this morning. So it's this one that I really enjoyed getting, and this is the one I really wanted to focus on. We're gonna go ahead and select this one that I want to edit. And now the fun begins. In this instance, I'm gonna use one of my presets. Now, side note, I'll probably be releasing some of these later this year. I just wanna make sure that they're as perfect as I want them to be. So this is my winter collection. We'll just call it that, Winter V1. I've got 5 of them on here, and these are settings that I ended up using a whole lot, so I just made them into a preset. I think I'm gonna go with Creekside. Now, over here on the right side, we'll minimize this. This is where you can go ahead and find 2 things. So already that's half the battle. I've already applied most of the look. I love the way that looked. Muted down colors, but still retaining that green and the brown and then the dark contrasty looks. So in this one, I'll probably play around with the contrast a little bit. I'll increase that a little bit there. Let's see if we're gonna increase that. No. Another side note too is I like to always underexpose my photos because it retains a lot of the shadows, a lot of the blacks. If you overexpose it when you're out shooting, you're gonna minimize how much data you have going into these photos. You're not gonna have a whole lot of information to play around with. So I always tend to underexpose. Gives me a little bit more of a shadowy feel, but if I need to increase the exposure, I always can here. In this case, I'm gonna bring it down just a tad bit more. Now, the bigger things that I really tend to play around with are the shadows, the contrast. I always try and get it as close to reality as possible. So when I saw it with my own eyes, I try and remember what it is that I really enjoyed about it, and I want to emphasize that. But I really enjoyed the shadows and how they contrasted. It made the green really contrast against the lighter colors. So I'm gonna try and achieve that here as well, but I'm gonna go ahead and play with it a little bit more. So I'm gonna increase the saturation just a little bit. That's perfect for me. I love that. Now, color-wise, we'll probably go in here and maybe increase the saturation a little bit, increase the hue. I just want those greens to pop because for me, that is what drew my eye to this. So as you're seeing already, I don't have to do a whole lot. It's just fine tuning a little bit here and there, but the preset helped me out a whole lot. So don't be afraid of using presets. So texture, there's already a lot going on here. I'm probably gonna decrease it a little bit. Clarity, increase that. Dehaze, I'm focusing on the shadows. Grain, I don't want too much in there, and we're going to sharpen the detail just a tad bit. That's pretty much what I go through. I'm just fine tuning, just trying to get it as close to reality as possible. Already, this is super great. The final touch that is going to emphasize and draw the eye, I want people to enjoy the scene, but I also want to guide the eye a little bit. So when we're looking at this photo, for me, the interesting part is right here, this middle. Everything else looks nice, but I want the viewer to be able to look right there in the middle. And so instead of just uploading this and hoping somebody kind of focuses in on this area, you can actually help guide the viewer. We're gonna go into masking, lineal grading. This essentially just, it lets you grade certain portions of the photo without doing the whole thing. So what I'm gonna do, since I want the eye to go towards the middle, I'm actually going to darken just a little bit these other areas because the eye is going to be drawn to the areas that tend to have a little more color, a little more light. I'm just going to bring down the exposure just a little bit. Contrast, I'll bring it up just a tad bit. And blacks, we can play with it. Yeah, we'll bring it down just a little bit. I'm going to do it again. Except this time, I'm gonna come in from the corner. I try and also pay attention to where the light's coming in from. If the light is what's drawing the viewer's eye, I wanna emphasize that, but I don't wanna blow it out of proportion. So I'm going to cover pretty much half this photo, but the emphasis is gonna be towards the corner where the light is coming in from. So I'm gonna go right back up to the top. I'm gonna actually increase the exposure over here a little bit. Now, not to worry about the trees because we can actually clear that up just a little bit. So we're gonna actually bring in some contrast. Let me see, some shadows. Can we affect that a little bit? Yeah, we're gonna go back down this other way. So brighten it up a little bit, but I wanna keep the definition of these trees in the photo. Nah, that's a little too much. Okay. Perfect. I personally enjoy how this has been darkened. I'm just gonna follow it upstream. I've used leading lines and the light in order to guide me in this direction. And then again, off to the side, you're gonna enjoy those greens. So I love this photo. This photo is great. I will post this one up on Instagram. Pretty proud of this one. That's pretty much how I do it. Now, at this point, the really neat thing about Lightroom, if you have multiple photos taken in the same general area, the painful thing would be to have to redo that. The neat thing about this software is that you can actually copy and paste settings. And then again, if you need to do minor tweaking, you can, but that's just gonna prevent you from going through the whole thing. So it's like adding a preset with your preset already that you did just now. Double preset it up. Presetting it up. Nah, I'm not gonna use that. Here's a neat little tip for you. So underneath the gallery of photos, you're gonna see this copy edit settings button. All you do is just click on it and it's copied it onto your clipboard. Now, let's go ahead and select a similar photo. Click on the one you wanna paste it on, hit that button, and now it's applied everything that we did on the previous one. I'm gonna go back up to this box up here with the arrow, I'm gonna export it, and then what I typically do, so I'm gonna use custom settings as well again. I have a separate one, just edited, and I'll go ahead and save it. Exporting at the top, takes a few seconds, and it's done. that's pretty much how I edit all my photos. But as far as the actual behind the scenes and how I take photos, why I'm lining certain shots up, go check out my shorts. I lay out everything there. Now, if you guys have any questions, please drop them in the comments, let me know. These presets though, I'm fine tuning them a little bit because I do want to go ahead and actually be totally satisfied with them before I release them out into the public. And so I'll probably be doing that. I'll be doing that a little later this year. Let me know if you guys want to see more of this kind of stuff. But all that to come in 2024. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll see you guys in the next video.